Well, guys, it's a lonely, desolate truck engine bay. Just got the engine pulled out, loaded up on the truck. My clutch is supposed to come in tomorrow, and I will take it up to Kemp. I'm going to use Wizard Works diesel and Kemp to do it. Wow, what a project. Whew. Let me tell you this engine hoist, Harbor Freight model, Harbor Freight Special, it works fine when it doesn't have a load on it, but when you get a load on it, these wheels do not pivot like they should. That motor weighs 1,100 pounds, and it's a beast to try to get it out. One thing that I'm gonna say is when we go to put it back, we're gonna have to have a leveler bar that sits here so we can tilt the engine how we need to, because oh man, without it, it's hard. Getting it out was one thing, but putting it in without that is gonna be even harder. Yeah, that's gonna be great. Absolutely great. So there's my fork and my throwout bearing in there. That whole clutch housing that whole transmission adapter is just full of grease from the engine. It's not even really clutch dust, it's mainly grease. So I'll clean that out really good before we get it all put back together. I wish I could go in and pressure wash this engine bay out, but that's not going to happen. There's no way. I would have to find some way to support the transmission, roll the truck outside, wash it out, and then drag it back up in here, and I have no way to do that. We're not pulling this transmission out either. I'm going to tell you that right now. Not happening. So what we did is we went and got a transmission jack, and that way we could hold the transmission up while we're doing all this. And this truck picks up about 6 inches when you pull the engine out of it. It raises the front end about 6 inches. A lot. It's a lot. You can tell how low my back end is sitting right now. I squatted the airbags when we started, but it's still really low. That's really low. But it's out, and now I'm down to waiting on him to get the engine rebuilt. He didn't have any cores in the stock, so he's just going to rebuild the one that I have. But wow, what a project. I'm nervous about putting it all back together, but keep my head screwed on straight and we should be able to get it all back. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Absolutely great. One thing that I will say though, you have a great big dry erase marker board up here. Just get you a dry erase marker and a bunch of zip ties and write down what your stuff connects to. Some of this stuff I didn't write down because it's pretty easy to remember where it goes. But hopefully we can get it all back together. That's the main concern, is not being able to get it back together. There's an entire engine wiring harness right there. So yeah. And the other thing is, when you pull a bolt out, put it back where it was. So you don't forget where your bolts went, and B, where the bolts go. These right here go in the engine cushion blocks for the engine mounts. Put them there since the engine's gone. So what we had to do, we had these engine blocks loosened up, but we couldn't, and we had it coming out, but we didn't have enough clearance to get it to slide all the way out. So we had to pull these off because we could get it raised up to about right in here, but you can see you still can't get it out, so we had to pull them off. That is the original lift pump filter kit. It's got a fast fuel system on it now, so that's not used. I left it on the truck because if I ever sell the truck, I'm going to need it, because I'm going to take the fast system with me, and I will need that and an in-tank pump. Debated pulling it off, not even putting it back on, but it'll be fine. So yeah, we are balls deep in this now. It's a scary sight to see, but hey, I'm excited about getting my truck running right again. I'm ready to get this truck running good. We're going to go back with 45% overstock injectors. It's going to put me at about 475. It's got the fast fuel system, 95 gallon a minute fuel system on it with a sump. And then what else? Going back with the South Bend dual disc clutch. Let me say this about this single disc clutch that's on here. It's rated for 400 horsepower and like 20,000 pounds of towing. This truck weighs 11,000 pounds with the bed on it. My 30-foot trailer weighs about 8, so I'm 19,000 pounds just with the truck and the trailer. And then I hauled a 19,000 pound excavator with it one time, so I was 38,000 pounds. It never slipped the clutch. It jumped it a little bit, but it never slipped. So, I mean, I gotta say, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive to be able to do that. But anyway, hey, we're nearly there. Between the, that's not on the truck, I'm pointing to where it goes, but it's not here. Between the S&B cold air intake, the 100 or the 45% over injectors, and he even told me that if I bring it back up there to him, that he could help tune it a little bit for the new injectors and everything. We should be able to get better power and in turn get better mileage, because the mileage on this truck absolutely sucks. Absolutely sucks. But anyway, that's what we're looking at, so we're gonna have fun with it. It's a beast, let me tell you that. That engine is heavy. Heavy. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Stay tuned. It's probably gonna be another week before, at least a week before we can get it back from the shop. Probably gonna be 2 weeks before we can put it back in the engine bay, before we can get it back in the truck, because it's probably gonna take us just a full day just to get the engine back in the hole, everything lined up, and get transmission and everything slipped back up on it. That's probably gonna take a whole day just for that, for me and my dad. I'm gonna see if a friend can come over and help. He's a mechanic. See if he can come over and help us with it. And we'll get it back in. It's a scary sight to see, because we're committed. I mean, we were committed yesterday, but now we've got a useless truck at the moment. So, Red Manufacturing and Custom Welding, mobile rig is down, but we still got a little bit of shop space, so we're going to be doing as much as we can with a little bit of shop that we got. So, stay tuned. More to come. More to come.